All right, that should be better. Look at that. Now you can actually fucking hear me. For some reason, every single time I open up Black Ops 3, it drops my mic gain in Motive Mix. Really weird. Anyway, we're talking about God. Why? Fuck if I know. Just something to talk about. I wanted to play Black Ops, and I wanted to talk about a topic. Just to start off, I'm agnostic. For those who don't know what that means, agnostic is like my game freezes, and I don't know why. That's why. That's what that is. But agnostic is like, you think there's something out there. There's just no religions that really correlate to what you believe in. That's what I believe in. I technically, or I don't believe in. I guess I don't believe in it. It's different than atheist. Atheist means you don't think there is a higher power. You think that just science explains everything. And granted, I believe that to a degree. I don't think fucking Adam and Eve existed. I think we evolved from monkeys and whatnot. I'm having a hard time focusing for some reason. How did I reach you? What the fuckle? Oh no, what's my loadout? Oh no, what's my loadout? I'm a fucking idiot. Why am I getting notifications? I don't care that left her house. I don't have alchemical. Literally makes this run impossible. You need alchemical, otherwise you can't do anything because you run out of ammo on the Wonderwaff and then you're cooked. You can't do anything after that. Oh yeah, but like I'm agnostic, so I think there is some sort of God out there. I think there might be some sort of eternal purpose. I really just don't know. My mind's open to the idea of it. I just haven't found anything that really suits it. I don't think there's an afterlife, and I've come to terms with that. I think that when I die, I'm just gonna cease to exist, which is it's okay. It's all right. Also, welcome to my second channel. This is the second channel. This is what this shit's gonna be. It's gonna be random shit that doesn't line up with the friend slot gameplay I have on my main channel. I don't know why, but I hold myself to a higher standard on that channel, and I want to post these lower effort videos where I'm just kind of fucking about. And I thought a second channel would be easier to do that. Might be a dumb idea, might be dividing my audience, who knows? Or maybe it'll be the best idea I've ever had. Why am I not changing my fucking gobblegums before I go into another goddamn game? All right, we're gonna turn everything green. That way I know not to pick it up. I know I had more lined up to talk about. Oh yeah, so now the thing I want to talk about in this video is why I don't believe in God. And for anybody who does believe in God, like you're a Christian, Mormon, Muslim, I don't know. It doesn't matter to me. You know, I'm not like dissing on what you believe in. I find it very interesting. I think it's an interesting topic to talk about. I'm not invalidating your opinions and beliefs. Matter of fact, I have a mentor who's significantly older than me. Not groomed. Just want to say that I'm not groomed. And I used to go to Baptist church with them all the time. And when I did go there, I liked what they were saying because I feel like they were good messages to spread. And I love their morals. They have pretty good morals in some aspects. Some things they say I don't really fuck with entirely. I like a lot of the messages that they have. But I never really clicked with it. I never was like one of the things they said is like everything good to us happens because of God. And I was like, that just makes me feel fucking useless. And I don't want a life like that. And one of my biggest points on why I don't believe in a lot of religions is a lot of religions believe in an afterlife. And I feel like that completely invalidates existence itself. And I feel like there's a really big point to touch up on. But I feel like that really invalidates our existence because imagine you can live this entire life with the guarantee that there's an afterlife. Because with baptism, at least the church that I went to, they believed that if you just believed that Jesus existed and died for our sins and you believe in God, like genuinely believe it, you will go to heaven. You can commit all the sin you want, but you can go to heaven. To each their own. I don't believe in that. That's also why I stopped going to the church because I could not wrap my mind. Like you have to believe the whole Bible. You have to believe the goddamn great flood happened. I don't see that being possible. Otherwise we'd like find a lot about that. I feel like scientifically, I feel like it'd be a lot bigger. If there was like outstanding proof, I'm a guy who lives off proof. If there was outstanding proof, a lot more people would revolve around being Christian, you know? But with the afterlife, it's like you live, a lot of people live about like 80 years and you die. It's like, I feel like your life becomes pointless if you can then live eternally afterwards. I feel like resurrection lives more, or no, what's it called? Not resurrection. It's where you like live the life, reincarnation. Being reincarnated like makes more sense to me. That feels more purposeful. My hair is fucking all sorts of whack right now. I don't give a shit. But I feel like that makes more sense than being like, oh yeah, so you're gonna live 80 years here and you have to believe in God and then you can come to the afterlife and come to heaven with us, which it just doesn't line up. It's like, well then what's the whole fucking point of being here? And like, sure, you have the free will to decide if you actually want to, oh no fucking way, off the rip. Like, sure, you have the free will to not believe in God, but then you go to hell and you live there eternally. You're getting punished because you don't believe in something that you don't have sound proof of existing. besides for like some random dudes who said he existed once. Like that's kind of wild to me. Granted, I don't like study the Bible, so I could be wrong about some of the things I'm saying. I'm gonna need a gun here soon. Where's the RK5? Give me that. Thank you. All right, now I won't fucking die in this room. We're staying here to round 5, and then we're gonna buy our way out. And that should get us to the or the power room where the box is, and then we can start to build our loadout. This run is very RNG related, so we're just gonna pray for the best. We gotta get the Mark II, and we have to get. We need the Mark II. We need the Wonder Waff. We need monkeys. We don't need monkeys. It just makes life a lot easier. So it's like a luxury of life thing. But like, I don't want to have to. That just seems really. If there is a God out there who is all-knowing, granted, he could be like every other powerful thing in our existence, like politics, where they're just really full of themselves, you know, and they want to be appraised. But I feel like if there was a God that's all-knowing and is very caring and loving, he wouldn't be like, oh, you don't. I feel like he'd be understanding and would still let us in. I feel like it'd make more sense if I was a God. That's totally heretical to say, but you know, I'm already going to hell, so I feel like if I was a God, I wouldn't dictate people going to heaven based off of whether or not they believe in me. That just seems really egotistical. And sure, he has every right to be that way if God does exist, because then it's like, well, I literally created everything that there ever is. So, yeah, no, like that. It just, I get it, but at the same time, I feel like he wouldn't be that way. I feel like God would be humble, as well as Jesus, because like Jesus, like that's the way they tell you to live life. It's like love thy neighbor. It's like that just doesn't make sense to me. I wouldn't sentence someone to eternal damnation for not believing that I'm God, you know, to not believing that I exist when I've given them no reason to think I exist, which just makes me really not believe that God exists. Or if he does, it's not to any degree that we've found before. Now, Christianity might make it more sense. I don't understand a whole lot about it. I only know baptism because I was a part of it for a while. As far as I know for Christianity, or maybe it's Catholic, but I know there's one where like you vow or like you do confessions. That makes a little more sense to me. But even then, it's like, there's a lot of things that are considered sin that I don't think should be considered sin. There's a lot of things I don't think should be considered sin that seem really weird. Like premarital sex, like that's sin? Really? That's sin. All right, Ray. Whatever you say, bucko. I also need to get my perks. That's another thing I need to do. Lots of train of thought. It's one thing that sucks about playing zombies is I lose my train of thought a lot, but it gives you guys something to look at, so, you know, we'll live with it. I don't know, it's just there's a lot of weird shit that I feel like if God was really what God is said to be, he wouldn't have these checkpoints that you have to reach to get into heaven, unless he was like trying to build some sort of eternal kingdom and this is like the trial. Then in that case I could get that, if like this life's viewed as like a trial life. But back to my thing of like life feeling pointless is, I feel like the thing that's beautiful in life, unlike like everything, like flowers, the reason flowers are so beautiful is one, they just look fucking cool, but also they're temporary, they die, you know, then you have to get new ones. So I feel like life kind of applies the same way, where it doesn't make a whole lot of sense to like, it just makes life really meaningless to know that like this life, if you believe in God and you go to heaven, that you believe in God and you go to heaven, that you're just, that this life is kind of null and void. Like, really? And I could just live eternal happiness in heaven where I could get anything I want? Like, that doesn't make my life feel valuable. And I'm one all about values of life, you know? And there's a lot of horrible shit that happens. Horrible fucking shit. And granted, you know, God doesn't get involved, but yet we hold prayers to hope that he'll get involved and give us greatness. And maybe in that case, he guides us down a path, but yet your life could be taken so soon. So it's a lot of like unknowns for sure. So, but I think I keep getting sidetracked. The ADHD's kicking in hard. But like the beauty of life is the fact that it's temporary. You have this temporary life, only about 80 years of life, where you can do anything. You can do whatever you want. You can go murder someone next door. Sure, there's consequences of that based off the government you built, but you could do that. You could end your life if you wanted to, and that's the way you could live your life. But then once your life is over, it's done. And I think that's what really makes it beautiful, and all the decisions you make. The people you decide to spend the rest of your life with is that more valuable when you live with the perspective that you won't exist one day. And I've already made a video about my thoughts on death, you know, like that was a while ago, and that was on my main channel before I made this one. Like I've met my peace with, you know, like I don't believe there's an afterlife. You know, I made my peace with that. That's fine. I'm cool with that. Like, that's okay. I feel like the way I view it and kind of cope with it is that, one, I won't be conscious, so I won't be sad about it when I'm dead. you know, and I can't change anything about that. So I feel like it's more of a motivator to live my life the best way I can, of not like being fearful of asking out that girl, or not being fearful of pursuing things that might end poorly, because at the end of the day, I'm going to die and nothing's going to fucking matter. And if I don't do it now, I'm going to regret it when I'm on my deathbed that I didn't get it with my one life, do what I wanted to do, you know? It's like if you could play a video game one time and you only have a certain amount of time to do it. Like you can, like a game shuts off. Like Halo 3, when that shit went down, or Halo 2, it was Halo 2. A lot, like that game went down and so many people were like, damn, I wish I played that game more because now I can never play it again. Or like when someone in your family dies, it's like, wow, I wish I spent more time with that person because I'll never see them again. And I feel like that same thing applies here in life, because when you think that way, it's like, well, shit, now everything's even more valuable. And is everything really valuable if it's unlimited? It's like if you have, imagine you could have sex whenever you want versus somebody who occasionally gets it. They're going to value sex way more than shut up, Dempsey. They're going to value sex way more than someone who gets it all the time does, because it's limited. It's sparing. Like it's like if you go out to dinner with your family, even. It's like you're going to value it because it doesn't happen all the time. If someone's around you all the time, a lot of the time you're not going to value that interaction. Not that you don't love that person, but you're not going to like value that interaction as much as you would if you only saw them temporarily, like once a month or once a year. You know, like those family members you got to visit that live in a different state or a different country. So I feel like that same aspect applies to life. Like it just, I don't think I need to elaborate anymore. I feel like my point's been made. And again, if you, this video isn't meant to bash anybody. This is merely my perspective on life and like religion, because I feel like it's really important to understand different people's viewpoints, because it allows you to become more empathetic and emotionally intelligent, viewing how other people view the world, so you can understand that better and come to terms that not everybody thinks like you, and that's fine, and you can still get along with those kind of people. Like, I feel like I'm pretty relatable, and I probably don't believe in a lot of the shit you believe in. I might even make a video on politics. I don't know. Probably not. I don't really want to veer towards politics. Politics are a scary discussion. I'm about to die. I'm not locked in, bro. But yeah, I don't know. I like talking about it. It's definitely an interesting topic. And when you talk about it in person, it definitely feels like you're bashing someone's beliefs. Because a lot of time you're talking about it with somebody who doesn't agree with you. And I want people in my audience to have a better emotionally intelligent mindset where they're more sympathetic and understanding of other people in the world. Because I feel like that also devolves for a lot of our problems in life. Like a lot of the not getting along, and fuck, we might dive a little politically. Like a lot of us don't want to view or be friends with another person because they have different views than we do. But I don't think we have to have that. I don't know. I probably won't incorporate that into the video. That's a whole can of beans to open. I want to talk about that in a much longer segment. I love the ray gun, even if it is kind of butt-ass late game. Honestly, that's really all I have to say. Not a whole lot else. I knew I wanted to talk about this topic going into this video, but I thought I'd have a lot more to say. But I'm also a professional, like, A-grade fucking yapper, so... Dude, I might make a video on Hinge. That'd be kind of fun. Oh my god, I totally could. I could just segment this into separate videos. That might be a good idea. Anyway, but back to my topic of God, I guess. Yeah, it just... Like, back to one thing I mentioned earlier is, like, God is the reason everything happens, like, the reason everything could happen to you. That just seems really invalidating. I don't get why somebody could live like that. I don't see how somebody would want to point all their efforts. It just makes my efforts feel really meaningless. And I don't want that. I want to be able to be like, yeah, I went to the gym and got ripped. It wasn't God who pointed me. I mean, maybe God, okay. Maybe God pointed me in that direction. But ultimately, it was me at the end of the day who took that step to go to the gym and get fucking jacked and fix my diet so I could be ripped. But religion wasn't really pushing it that way. Now, granted, it could be bad experiences. Definitely could be. It could just be the wrong crowd I was with. I don't know. But I will also say, to end off the video here, is that religious people are some of the nicest and most accepting people I have ever freaking met. Ever. They're some of the kindest, most open-hearted people who are always willing to invite you to do anything. When I was a kid, I had a lot of babysitters, and all of them were like God believers of God. I don't know exactly what they aligned with. Maybe it was Christianity. But those were the people who were willing to take care of me when somebody else couldn't. They were the one who stepped up to the plate and were willing to look after me and ensure that I was comfortable in a rough time of my life. I'm not gonna dive into that, but you know, it's just those when I think about them, I only have positive impressions because of the way I was raised and the way that I was viewed as not as some kid who doesn't believe in God, just as like a kid, and they took care of me, they looked after me a lot, and they were always really accepting and willing to lend a hand out. And even now that I'm older, you know, going to that church, I was very open about my beliefs, and they never shunned me for not believing in it. They just explained their point of view and why they believed that way, and they were very understanding. And like majority of the people in that church knew that I didn't believe in God, but I was more just open to the idea of it. I was trying to find like my calling, I guess. Um, and I guess I really appreciate that, especially when you get a lot of like stereotypes now where people just aren't accepting at all. And granted, there's a lot of people out there who are just complete dickheads, and they use God as like a way of covering for their crimes and their just buffoonery. But I never really came across those people, so all my experiences just leave me with a good taste in my mouth about what kind of people they are. So I just don't want to like say, I don't want to end off the video being like, oh yeah, well these people are fucking stupid for believing in something I don't believe in, because not at all, no. So I have amazing friends who believe in God. And just because I don't, that doesn't make them invalid for feeling that way, because we all believe the things we do based off we were raised. If I was raised differently, if I was raised Christian, I'd probably believe in God and I would be unwavering to my opinion. You know, there's a good chance of that, but I wasn't. I was raised and in a fashion where I could come up with my own beliefs. Sure, I went to Sunday school, but I was too young to really understand the concept. But I wasn't like raised in like a Christian household. Otherwise, I definitely could come up with that belief, but I was raised in a fashion where I could come up with my own decisions and my own beliefs, and nothing was ever really forced upon me. I was able to pave my own path in what I believe in, and I'm grateful for that. But yeah, just everybody's raised differently, and that's why they think differently. I don't think we should shun anybody for that. Shun? I think that's the right word to use. Anywho, thank you for watching my second channel's video. The first one, also Delania. We're gonna see a lot of content like this. I might upload more frequently to this channel just because it's easier, and the ones on my main channel take a lot of editing, a ton of editing. Like my last video, that Halo Reach one, as of recording this video, the last video I uploaded was the Halo Reach is baller or something like that. And that one took me like 6 or 7 hours to record, and took me an entire week of editing every single day for hours to upload, to like edit. Or it was like 2 weeks of everyday editing to upload that video to get the editing done. And that's not even a very highly edited video, but it took so fucking long. It took so long. So yeah, if you did like this, not quite sure what that fucker was yapping about, you want to hear all that, subscribe, cunt.